Hello, everyone, to our listeners in Bangladesh, to the diaspora watching from London, New York, Toronto, Brussels, and to anyone tuning in from policy circles, universities, embassies, or newsrooms. My name is Del H. Khan, and I am from Bangladesh. Thank you for being here. Today, I want to talk about power, perception, and propaganda. More specifically, I want to talk about how insecurity is manufactured and how Bangladesh has just become the latest target of that machinery. Let's start with something very simple. In late 2024 and early 2025, Bangladeshi diplomatic missions in India were attacked. Not online, not rhetorically, but physically. Our embassies were vandalized, our national flag was burned, and our diplomats were threatened by extremist mobs. And this didn't happen in a vacuum. It happened in a country that is a signatory to the Vienna Convention, where protecting foreign missions is a basic obligation, not a favor. Now, here's the irony. After failing to ensure the safety of Bangladeshi diplomats on Indian soil, India turned around and said, India is not safe for a Bangladeshi cricketer. Mustafizur Rahman, an international athlete, not a political actor, was sent back citing security concerns. So, Bangladesh did what any rational, responsible country would do. We applied the same logic. We said, if you cannot guarantee safety, we will not risk our players. That should have been the end of it. But it wasn't. Instead, India escalated. Suddenly, Bangladesh was labeled a non-family posting. For Indian diplomats, let me be clear for international listeners. This label is usually reserved for war zones, failed states, or places with systemic violence. And here's the key question I want to sit with you. If Bangladesh is so unsafe, why did the US Embassy not agree? Why did the UK High Commission not agree? Why did the UN not issue any advisory? Why are diplomats' families still living in Dhaka? Why are international schools still operating? Why are World Bank, EU, UN, and NGO offices functioning normally? Because facts don't support the claim. So, what does? This is where hegemony comes in. In South Asia, India doesn't have power, it has narrative dominance. When India speaks, global media listens. When Bangladesh speaks, we are expected to explain ourselves again and again. This is called hegemonic signaling. It's when a powerful state uses administrative labels, selective outrage, media amplification to shape reality without firing a single bullet. Security designations become weapons. A reputation becomes the battlefield. Let's talk about consistency or the lack of it. Since the year 2000, over 1,200 Bangladeshi civilians have been killed by India's border security force. That makes the India Bangladesh border one of the deadliest borders in the world outside active war zones. Let that sink in. Yet these killings rarely trigger emergency summits, international concern, or institutional reform. But one cricket decision, one refusal to play under unsafe condition, suddenly Bangladesh is dangerous. That's not security analysis, that's selective morality. And then there's the media. We have all seen it. Unverified stories about minority persecution in Bangladesh dominate Indian primetime debates. Some are later debunked, like the 2024 Joshua fire. But the damage is already done. Corrections don't trend, smears do. This isn't journalism, it's agenda setting. And it has consequences, not just for Bangladesh's image, but for regional stability. Now let's talk about the economics because power always follows money. In 2024 alone, Bangladesh imported 16 billion from India. However, exported only 2 billion. That's an 8 to 1 imbalance. When political tensions rose, electricity exports were suddenly halted. Informal trade slowed. Bangladesh lost billions of dollars. So, when diplomatic downgrading follows economic pressure, we have to ask, is this coincidence or coercion? Here's the part no one likes to talk about. India itself is facing 8 active insurgencies. Ethnic violence in Manipur displacing over 50,000 people. Hundreds of conflict related deaths. Over 31,000 reported rape cases in a single year. And yet, India is never labeled unsafe by the same standards. This is not whataboutism. This is contextual honesty. If standards apply to Bangladesh, they must apply to everyone. Otherwise, they are not standards, they are tools. So, what does the evidence actually say? Bangladesh today has no civil war, no insurgency, no UN security downgrade, no Western evacuation advisory. We are one of the world's leading contributor to UN peacekeeping. We have consistent GDP growth. We host international missions, investors, and institutions without disruption. By every international metric, Bangladesh does not qualify as an unsafe country. So, let's call this what it is. This is not about safety, this is about control over narrative. It's about deciding who gets to define stability, whose concerns are taken seriously, and whose voices are dismissed as emotional or political. We reject that hierarchy.